Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Let's discuss all the books that I read in the month of August. I only read 5 books for the month. Usually the summer is the season that I read the least amount because it's when I'm doing the most traveling or when I'm outside. And it's really hard for me to read when I'm outdoors or when I'm on vacation. I need to read in a room on my own because if I'm outdoors, I like to people watch. I did do some reading while I was in Florida on the beach and I kept getting distracted, but I tried my best to do some reading and that was it. All the other times that I went on vacation, I barely did any reading, hence why I only read 5 books. Let's talk about Wretched Water Park. What a fantastic book this was. I never knew I needed a gothic water park until reading this. Like, how amazing, a gothic water park. Some of the rides in here, being a gothic water park, were so interesting in some of the elements. So here we are following the sinister Winterbottoms. They find themselves spending one summer with their aunt. They have never heard of her, never really spent any time with her, but one summer all of a sudden the parents are like, they just get up, pack their stuff and send them over there, and they just don't know what's going on. They have a feeling something is going on, but they just don't know. And so this aunt of theirs lives on a cloud. She barely knows anything about the kids or even kids in general. And so they're sort of like in this awkward moment, but then their aunt is like, hey, I'm gonna give you a week's pass, or let's get you a week's pass to Fathoms of Fun, which is a water park. The gothic water park we were just talking about. So they were all excited. They're like, let's go. And when they get there, they just find the water park is very odd. You have just all the employees are wearing black. The rides are kind of like ominous, and the colors in the water park are kind of weird. There are disappearances starting to happen around the water park. One of the main disappearances happen obviously before the kids get there, but as the kids are there, they start noticing certain employees gone and just weird things happening in this water park. And they take it amongst themselves to sort of figure out what this mystery is and fix it. I had somewhat of a hard time going into the story and really grasping the story, but after a few chapters and just getting to know this family was just incredible. Now the siblings, it's 3 siblings, and each one of them is just fantastic in their own way. I loved following the 2 younger ones, which we do follow most of all in the story, and it was just a great old time. I ended up giving this one 4 stars, and I already have the rest of the books in the series. Let me not lie, I honestly don't know how many books there are in the series. I think it's 3 books, and I have the other 2 books ready to continue. The next 2 books that I read were part of the, I have to read this because I can never remember the name of the series, the Lighthouse Library mystery series. What's so hard about that? I have no idea, but you see, like right now, I already forgot what the name of the series is. All I know is that there's a lighthouse and mystery somewhere in there. But I read books 2 and book 3 in the month of August. I talked enough about this series or these books in my July wrap up, so if you want to know more about them, go to that video. But just a little glimpse into what this series is about is our main character is Lucy. She moves to the Outer Banks of North Carolina where she used to summer as a child, and she fell in love with that place, and as an adult she decides to go and move there. Her uncle and aunt and cousin live there, and she becomes the town librarian or the beach town librarian, and the library is in a lighthouse, and there's always mysteries going around because it is a cozy mystery. There's always a murder around the library. The setting is just exquisite. I enjoyed books 2 and book 3 just as much as I enjoyed book 9 and book 1. I gave each one of these 4 stars, just like I think I gave the other 2 books 4 stars. And I cannot wait until next month to start reading book 4. What a fantastic book this was. Thanks to my friend Alex, I will link him down below, his Instagram, but he talked about this book and just the cover alone really intrigued me. And you know me, I like to go into books blind, so I didn't read the synopsis. I just saw that he said that he loved it and that it was such a fun book, and I was like, sold. I don't want to know anything else. And I highly recommend, if you decide to read this book in an upcoming summer, to go into this book as blind as possible, because when you do read the synopsis, it sounds kind of like bizarre, but it is so bizarre, but in the best way possible. But before we get into what this book is about, I just found it so interesting. In the afterword of the book, the author talks about how this book is best experienced while on vacation on a beach somewhere. I read this book while I was on vacation in Florida. This is the book that I did most of my reading in the beach with. It was such a good time, even though I had sometimes a hard time really concentrating because I like to people watch. This really kept me engaged because I was in the right setting for it. Here we are following this island. It's called Crystal Key, and it is the perfect vacation destination. You get tourists there all the time. It's just a grand old time. One day this shark shows up and just starts going into this feeding frenzy. At the same time, we have this alien parasite trying to take over that part of land. And this parasite, what it does is it turns humans into like mindless, almost like zombies, I want to say, but it says here into mindless, murderous husks. And so that's all I'm going to tell you. That's already bizarre enough, like the alien parasite and then the feeding frenzy with the shark. I mean, the feeding frenzy really with the shark is not that weird, but then you incorporate this alien parasite and this just turns into the funnest summer horror that I have read lately. I loved this book so much. The setting, like I said, is just my jam. I love anything that's tropical. I was born and raised in Miami, and so I just have this tropical vibes just emanating from me all the time. And so this was perfect. The characters are great, the storyline is great, and like I said, it's bizarre, but it works so well. And just seeing these characters just get together and try to beat this like weird alien parasite was a grand old time. I really enjoyed the ending and the whole plot line. This was just fantastic. If you want a great summer horror read for next year, I highly suggest you add this one to your TBR because I think you will really like it. It has action, it has gore, but not too much. It's like bloody and stuff, but it's not too much or too extreme, but there are some icky parts to this. Island Red by Matt Serafini. I ended up giving this one 4 stars. I read The Trench which is book 2 in the Meg series, and I loved this one so much. Now, I know I read Meg last year in the summer, so it's been a whole year, and some of the details and stuff from book 1 is a little bit blurry in my mind. Also because I have watched the movie a gazillion times. It's my favorite summer movie to watch. And the issue is that the movie is loosely based on the book. And so when I think about Meg, what automatically comes to my mind is the storyline from the movie. And so the details from the book get lost on me sometimes. With that being said, I don't know, it's just that I love this one so much more because it's what I have read recently and what is in my mind and in my head recently, and I just can't remember that one. But I think I like this one way more than the first book. I feel like the plot line is much more dense. You have more going on. And what I think this one has above or over Meg, now I could be wrong, so please, I know you guys will be quick to correct me in the comments if I am wrong, but I feel like Meg was a little bit more underwater than The Trench was. We had a lot more above water going on and a lot more drama going on within the characters, which took a little bit away from the shark. I mean, the shark is a very prevalent point in the book, obviously, but I feel like the drama really overtook, and like the character dynamics really overtook the story from the shark. But you still get enough of, what is its real name? Carcharodon? I can't remember what the actual name of a Meg is, but I just find this shark much more interesting than just the great white. The great white?
Why can't I just go one whole video without sounding like a complete ass?
The great white. I love all sharks. I think they are all fantastic, magnificent creatures. I started loving them when I met my husband, and when I got with my husband, he is a huge shark lover. My love of sharks comes through him, but I will say that when I saw the Meg or Carcharodon, Meg, whatever the name is, I fell in love so hard. Anything that has this shark in it, I am just there. I also thought that the plot line, I said earlier that it was a lot more dense. It has a lot more grit to it. It's a little bit harsher than what we got in Meg. I'm not gonna say anything about the characters because I don't want any spoilers from book one. So just know that this had some of the same characters as Meg, including extra ones. And I loved this one so much. So those were all the books that I read for the month of August. Let me know what you read. What was your favorite read of the month? Let's chat books in the comment section down below. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys in my next one. Bye.